So our next speaker coming up, he's an industry veteran that has consistently sold over $300,000 of his own pen for the last 10 years. And all that starts on the phones, and he's going to be showing you exactly what his phone script is, little tips and tricks in order to have the same kind of success he's had. So please give me a warm welcome to Ryan Reynolds.
All right, guys. Been in business for 10 years, but never been on stage, so let's see how this goes. All right, humble to be here and part of Family First Life. The number one most important part of this business is dialing. That's where it all starts, right? Without dialing, we don't have appointments. Without appointments, we don't have sales. Without sales, we don't have a paycheck. Without a paycheck, we don't have a job. So it starts with dialing. If you see someone making more money than you in this business, it's a simple math. They're dialing more than you. With dialing, we're going to get more appointments, right? So it starts with dialing. More rings, more cha-chings, right? When I first started this business, I didn't have a conference to go to like you guys have. I didn't have the FFL dial team that Grady set up for you guys to watch live dialers while you're dialing to get confidence. I didn't have the YouTube podcast with the greatest mentors in the planet teaching you how to do what they do. I didn't have training calls to be on weekly to gain my confidence, and I didn't even have a script. My training was come in, watch this guy dial, and figure it out. So I'm going to start with the first tip of dialing. You are your best teacher. You're going to learn through failure, and failure is a good thing. It's your first attempt at learning. Every person you watch come up on the stage, they start exactly in the position you're at now. What separates them from you? Failure. They failed more than you. That's how they got to become pros. So you are your best teacher. Take action and start dialing. You're going to figure it out. Perspective is key. We want to have the right perspective when we start to dial. A lot of us get nervous, just like I am on stage right now, right? We get nervous when we start dialing. It's because we're looking at it the wrong way. We're looking at it as we need to call this lead and convince them to have an appointment. That's the wrong perspective. We're thinking we need to call these guys and convince them to get insurance. That's the wrong perspective. We're calling them to ask them what time they want, to get the information they requested. So we just need to change our perspective. Stop calling them leads, call them requests. Feels good if you say, hey, I bought 10 requests this week. No, it feels good to say I bought 100 requests this week. That's exactly what they are. They're just requesting you to reach out to them and let them know what time they can get that information. I recommend you start the way I started. Make your own script. We have so many training videos of top producers. Go on Google, go on YouTube, type in FFL dialing and start watching them. Write down word tracks of the top dialers in the business, because if you like what they're saying, you're going to feel confident saying it too. But every script boils down to three main parts. Why you're calling, how you get the information, and remembering the appointment. So let's go into some points into why you're calling. Why you're calling, it's important to get your information out as quickly as possible. We all have telemarketing calls these days, and anytime we get a call from a number we don't recognize, what do? We hit hang up, right? We get a second call from that same number, what do? We hang up. The third time, oh, I'm kind of curious, what do? We hang up. Maybe the fourth time, call 4 times in a row. Now maybe it's emergency, I'm not really sure, hang up. Call the 5th time, okay, it's definitely emergency, I'm definitely going to pick up. So call multiple times in a row and you're going to get people to answer, but you have 2 seconds to get out your information, because what do they have? Their boxing gloves on. They're ready to hang up on a moment's notice, so you got to get it out quickly. Grady, I'm calling about the mortgage protection information you requested. Grady, I'm calling about the final expense information you requested. Grady, I'm calling about the life insurance information you requested. Get it out quick. When you say their first name, don't pause. Don't ask with a question mark. Right? Don't say, well, Grady, now their boxing gloves are on. You better be ready with those rebuttals. Okay? So just continue on. Do not say with a question mark. If Grady's wife answers the phone, do not say, is Grady there? They put the phone number on there for a reason. You can talk to the wife. Just go, I'm calling about the mortgage protection information you requested, that Grady requested, right? Go right into it. Tone. Tone is so important. Talk in a monotone voice. It's going to make you sound more confident. If you're talking with fluctuations in your voice and you're talking too friendly, you're trying to sell something. That's not the point of the call, right? You're in the wrong perspective if you're talking too friendly. So make sure you talk in a monotone voice and get to the point. Anytime you have a lead that has one name on it, you need to ask this important question before you move to the next section of your script. Who are you trying to protect? Who are you trying to protect? This is going to stop your one-leggers, right? Who are you trying to protect, Grady? My mom. Okay, does your mom live with you? He might say, no, I live with my mom. Now we know that mom's the one making the decisions, right? So we want to make sure we're scheduling that with his mom and Grady, right? So ask that question. That's going to stop your one-leggers. They're going to tell you if they have a fiance. They're going to tell you if they're married. They're going to tell you if it's a girlfriend. Make sure that person's there if they live in the house. Moving to the next section, how do they get that information? This is the second part of the script. Every script is the same. I always like to start off with the address. You're at 240 East Fremont Drive, is that correct? Yes. Okay, I have a 5 and a 7 tomorrow. Which one do you prefer? If never, ever, ever say you're going to be coming over to the house, because they're going to put on their boxing gloves. You're going to have a lot of rebuttals. So if we start with our address and we transition to the times, we never said we're coming over, and there's never any gloves that come on. Good question to ask in this section is, what time do you get home from work? This question is going to allow you to figure out their schedule, right? They're going to tell you if they're retired. They're going to tell you if you have the next day off. They're going to tell you they get off at 11 o'clock. Now we know they probably have mornings available, right? So asking a simple question, when do you get home from work, is also going to help you out those no-shows, because you know they're home. When you knock on the door, they're going to be there. Sound busy with times. We're a herd mentality. Why is everyone in this room that's a guy wearing a suit and a tie? Because we all want to act the same, right? People do what other people are doing, so act busy. If you're dialing on Mondays, don't just say, I can't schedule on Monday, I have the day off. Say, hey, Monday's completely booked up, but I do have a couple time slots left on Tuesday. Maybe there's nothing left on Tuesday. Make it like there's only 2 left, because they're going to think, if everyone else is booking appointments, why am I not booking appointments? Why am I not booking one too? Then we're going to move to the third section. This is getting those guys to remember their appointments. We don't want to show up to the door and no one's there, right? We do that with a confirmation code. This makes them grab a pen. If I ask someone, hey, I need you to write this down, they're going to say, it's okay, I can remember it. But if I say, hey, I've got to give you a confirmation code for security purposes, they're going to grab a pen and write it down. Now I can give them your name. You can give them the date, the time, the arrival time, between 2 and 3. So they're writing it down. It's also going to build credibility with you, because they're thinking on the phone, how can I trust you? And you just reverse it on them and say, how can I trust you, right? You need a security code. Can you read that back to me? This is the second way we can remember it. Now they're visually seeing it on a piece of paper, and they're reading it back to them. It's in their mind. And the last part I do to make them remember the appointment is say, can you add it to the calendar for me? Right? Can you add it to the calendar for me? Do not ask and get excited because you book an appointment and say, go ahead and add it to the calendar for me, hang up, because you're not going to do it. You have to make a call to action. Can you make a note on your phone? Can you set a reminder? Can you add it to the calendar now? And they're going to say yes. Say, okay, go ahead, great, add it. And then when they're done, say thank you. It's only going to take them 3 seconds, guys. So make them write a note, put it on the fridge. Objections. We're always going to get objections when we first start out, and that's because we're not confident enough. We haven't failed enough. We haven't had enough first attempts in learning. When we get objections, what I always do is I start off with this one phrase and I end it with choice on times. That is actually why I'm calling. That is actually why I'm calling. And then I end it with a choice on times. What we say in the middle does not matter. Keep it short, keep it sweet. Short is confidence. If you're talking too long in the middle, you're rambling on, you're sounding needy, you're being a salesperson. That's not the point of the call. So for example, I can't talk. That's actually why I'm calling, because I set a time that we can talk. I'm going to be in your area tomorrow at 5 or 7. What works for you? If they say I'm not interested, that's actually why I'm calling, so I can get you that information, you can make that decision. I have a 5 or 7 tomorrow. What works for you? How much does it cost? That's actually why I'm calling, so I can get you that information, we can find a plan that fits in your budget. What time works for you, 5 or 7? That's all I have for you guys, and I just want to end on this. Remember that everything beautiful and amazing in this world is on the other side of fear and failure. So this is your first attempts in learning. Push through. Thank you.